Tech Talk with Matthew Dickerson. Matthew Dickerson. Tech Talk. Sit back and relax. It's time to talk technology.
It is time to talk technology, and there's a couple of things that I got to throw at Matthew Dickerson out of left field this morning. First of all, Matthew, good morning.
Good morning. Left field is where I like to see things come from you, Kerry.
Okay, now left field this morning. Elon Musk this morning, right, has come out and told the Australian government that it might be illegal to pass the legislation that bans those under 16 years of age from social networks. That's an interesting turn of events from Elon, and I take it that he's trying to cover his backside as well, isn't he?
Well, I think there's a couple of things there. Elon is someone who, I actually compare him a bit to Thomas Edison. He likes to make bold statements and doesn't worry too much about whether or not there's a lot of facts involved in that. So he's a good publicity machine. He's good at hyping things up. And whether or not it's illegal or not, Elon probably doesn't care that much. He wants to be talking about social media because he's got a vested interest in the tens of billions of dollars that he paid for X when he bought Twitter. So obviously he probably wants to make sure that everyone, as many people as possible, can use it, whether they're underage. It seems probably a bit irrelevant for Elon, but we tend to make the government in this country tends to make the laws for this country. So I'm not sure how much of an expert Elon would be on the government in Australia. How much notice would he take of Australia? Probably puts a comment out and then leaves people like you and I to chat about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too, actually. Now listen, the other one that I wanted to look at is there's all sorts of things that are happening at the moment as far as scams go. You know, now elderly people, of course, are very susceptible to this, but then also we should not miss out the young people that are susceptible as well.
Well, everyone's susceptible to a scam, and the problem you've got, Kerry, is they're getting so good at it. And I actually just had a report just 2 days ago from one of my children. One of her friends got scammed, and it just seemed like such a simple way to do it, and just they were selling something online, and next thing you know, some details came through, and they clicked on a link, and before they knew it, about $1,000 went out of their bank account. So it's something that you might think you're immune, you might think you won't fall for it, but the scammers are getting so good, and they're using AI to try to actually make everything look better. They're using AI to create better English, make sure there's no spelling mistakes, make sure the grammar's correct, using AI to create scripts. And there's a great little concept in the UK at the moment where you can actually send a scam phone call through to a lady named Daisy. Well, Daisy doesn't exist. She's an AI tool as well, and Daisy just wastes the time of scammers. So Daisy will have a lovely chat about Fluffy, her cat, about her grandchildren, about her knitting projects, and all it's doing is trying to waste the time of scammers so they can't go and ring someone else.
All right. So we introduced the scammers to Daisy, is that right?
That's exactly right. And in the UK, there's a process. If you get a call you think's a scammer, you can punch a code in on your phone, and that basically sends the call through. So essentially, the scammer thinks they're having a wonderful conversation. They think, we've got a live one here. I've got someone on the hook. They're having a good chat to me. Right, I'm definitely going to get their bank details anytime soon. And Daisy just chats away, might give some false information. And I did listen to one of the recordings. It was very funny because the scammer, you can hear them getting more and more frustrated. And then finally they start yelling abuse at this grandmother or supposed grandmother and calling her all sorts of names. And Daisy's so lovely. She just keeps going, okay, dear, that's lovely, dear.
Good on you, Daisy. Hey, listen, just one more, if I may. All right, GPSs. Now, we've all been in a GPS, right? And we're in the middle of a complicated area, trying to find their way around, which can be a problem on occasion. And then the GPS itself gets lost.
Well, it
now,
does.
They're looking at this at the moment, aren't they?
They are, and it does get lost. So just to give you a quick bit of technical information, the satellites that help us with our GPS orbit about 20,000 kilometres above the Earth. They're called medium Earth orbit, and they rotate around the Earth twice a day. So that's how far away the signal is coming from, and it all relies on incredibly accurate timekeeping. So each GPS satellite knows the time accurately. Our device in our hand knows the time accurately, and the difference in the signal reaching our device in our hand or in our car, that's how it works out where we are. But we've got this annoying little ionosphere that sits around about 80 to 320 kilometres above the Earth, and you get different things happening in the ionosphere where you get a little bit of a slowdown of some of those signals from GPS satellites. So, and I've seen it. I've been driving along in the car, and if I looked at my map in the car, it would say I'm driving through the trees about 5 or 10 metres to the left of the highway. Obviously, I'm not bouncing off all those trees, but it's just that slight difference in signal. But it's a thing called citizen science, where if you use lots of information from citizens, you get accurate information. And so Android now has been using information from over 100,000 locations from our mobile phones to actually do a slight correction, a slight recalibration. We don't know what's happening, but our phones, if we've got an Android phone, are probably being used to help with that correction and actually say, no, in this particular spot on the Earth, there's a bit more activity in the ionosphere. It'll slow down that signal, so we need to correct for that. We've had monitoring stations for a long time, about 9,000 of them, but now with all of these phones out there, the billions of phones that are being used, it's helping correct that data. So we'll just get more accuracy in our GPS.
Oh, more accuracy in our GPS, so therefore we don't get lost again, which is good, isn't it?
That's right, exactly right. And we're not driving on through those trees on the side of the highway.
Yeah, I know. Side of the highway. Thanks, mate. Talk to you later.
Always good chat. Thanks, Kerry.
Matthew, think it's up there.